Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is Long War Podcast number 156. Good evening, Kenny.
Mike Haspil. I was not prepared for that. The realness of that intro.
And yeah, it is me, Mike Haspil, not Mark Bernardin. Misa back.
God, so many references made in such a short amount of time. The legendary Mike Haspil back from his self-imposed media hiatus. What's up, brother?
Yeah, what's going on? And I apologize in advance. I am not up to speed on the 40K stuff. I kind of had to recuse myself from all gaming almost because, I'm trying to write not one, but two tantalizing tales of terror and trepidation.
Damn, so much alliteration.
I know, right? I literally could not. I can't be doing the gaming thing during that time because I'll just sit there and spend my free time, just scheming on lists, on decks or whatever for Shadespire, on strategies, on combos, and when I'm forming the story in my head, I can't be doing that. And so the other thing is that there's so many distractions between me and trying to get my word count that if I say, hey, you know what, all this new stuff is coming out, I can't buy or paint or hobby or anything until these are done. It just drives that incentive home that, hey, you need to get this done. So,
yeah, it's that 90% of the hobby actually has nothing to do with the hobby. It's all it's the fantasizing about the hobby.
So I'm back now because I've got one of them done in a first draft form, and the other one is I'm writing currently, but the story form is there. So
makes me stoked. I also heard, and also I can see, because obviously we can see each other in this format. Maybe the people listening to this can't see, but I also see some new equipment potentially in and around your face region.
Oh yeah, this is I'm recording on a different microphone. Because I bought a bunch of stuff and I'm going to be recording, hopefully, audiobooks soon. So we'll see.
Oh, shit. You're telling me some of these new tantalizing tales of terror and trepidation might be narrated by Mike Haspil?
Well, one of them probably will be. The other one, I don't know. I'm going to try to sell it traditionally and see what happens. But the other one is a new Alex and Marcus adventure for fans of Graveyard Shift. And it takes place in like 1963, and it is insane. It's like all over the place. It's a heck of a lot of fun to write, and I'm hoping that I'll narrate that myself. But I'll try to sell it traditionally first, but we'll see. It's an experiment.
Backup plan. I'm stoked. I've always thought you should do it. What you had the voice for it, and I heard that you're also taking it seriously. Like a lot of people don't understand that. You can't do anything that you have, first off, if you have an idea and you want to try something, go for it. But also realize that if you don't do your due diligence, your time, your learning, maybe take a class or two.
Yeah. So I'm taking a class. I'm taking voice acting classes. Found out I suck as a voice actor. It's like really funny. It's like we were trying to do a Latino accent, and, the instructor was just like, you're just straight imitating Khan from Star Trek 2. And I was like, I am. I was just like, that's legit. He's Mexican. So.
Yep, that adds up. Your default will be Khan.
That's right. It'll be Khan.
So we're here, guys, all by ourselves. Not for the first time. We've done it before, and on the eve of the ATC, the American Team Championships in Chattanooga, big shout out to DiceHead.com, some of the coolest people in the game in the industry today, but for putting on this show yet again with a billion teams, bigger than ever before. The venue now allows beer. Bring your own beer. So that's why we're alone. We got Juice and, of course, Rob are already in transit, I think, to the event. I think Juice might be leaving tomorrow morning. He's actually technically on this podcast right now, but like his little window down there is still muted, and maybe he's muted this whole time.
It would be absolutely hilarious if Juice was just sitting there in the dark, muted this entire time.
Oh my God. That would be legendary if that was the case. So obviously a lot's going on this weekend. The team championships is ready to go. All the lists were submitted. All the captains can see the list. All of the reviews have taken place. And so one of the things I want to talk about first was the ATC, right? Get that out of the way. That's the only kind of real 40K thing we know about right now, because me and Haspil are truly dependent on other people's information to be able to comment on it. And those people are not here. Yeah. So Juice prepped me though. Because he's the wobbly modelers. They're going in. They were in the top 10 last year. I think they placed really high. They're trying to maybe third or something like that last year. And they're trying to come back, and they're taking it real seriously. And their lists are real strong powerhouse lists. But one of their issues was, after looking at all the other lists, was the sheer number of armies on teams over and over again with 100 to 200 model counts. How it's a reoccurring theme.
That is nuts too. That's a lot.
So they're already they're on tilt. So like the wobbly modelers are already on tilt because they have some lists of all different designs, but they're like, all right, like a lot of these top dudes are notorious for slow playing. I'm not, without calling anybody out, because you can't, I'm not saying that it's always the same person's fault, but there's already people in there, fact, who have been called out for slow playing, who now, fact, are playing model counts over 120, who, when they got in trouble for slow playing, weren't. So this is kind of echoing, this is Juice's concerns he prepped me for all week. So at the captain's meeting, he wanted to make it clear to all the other captains, we can't have none of these 2-turn games. People are traveling to this, paying for hotels, everything. If you bring multiple hundreds of models of infantry with all sorts of shenanigans, I hope you've been practicing your etiquette, which is kind of the subject that we're talking about right now, is player and time etiquette. This is a cooperative, competitive game, and you have to care about your opponent's time. So hopefully these players are taking the steps required. I myself, who play 120 or more models in my army, have actually recently taken steps because of the chess clock situation specifically. And I even myself have had trouble getting out of turn 4 in a few games in the past against other people with big armies like mine. And so I'm buying from Element Games. I bought the Cloud MDF movement trays, 25 millimeter. From Magnet Baron, they have great customer service. Actually, I was able to get a hold of him and ask him exactly what magnets and what power level I should get from him, so that I can magnetize them to my movement trays and not have it be an issue. So I went to Magnet Baron, and then I just went online and found some steel blanks. So now all my cultists are on movement trays with different colors. So a squad identification, and now my movement phase for my cultist takes literally as fast as I can push, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I moved. Right. So that's kind of what we're talking about, is player time etiquette. I hope that if you're bringing hundreds of models, and especially if you're not used to playing hundreds of models, that you take some of these into account. And also, I strongly recommend the new, I don't know how new it is now, but the GW Assault Dice app, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Assault Dice. It's been out for a while. And I don't remember how much it cost, but I think it was about $5 USD.
I think it's 99 cents was what the Jack of Clubs painting posted in a comment earlier now. I think.
Oh, really?
For some reason, I had a memory of it being like $5 when I bought it, but maybe I was wrong. I don't know. But it's cheap. It's like 99 cents. It's not the best dice app I've ever used, but it works, and it's official GW. And when I'm playing 120 cultists, I put it on a table and I explain to my opponent that I'm using the official GW dice app to get through all these rapid fires with all these cultists. Sometimes it can be 240 shots that only kill 13 models, but you still got to get those, the dice out there, right? So what took me 8 to 10 minutes before takes me 90 seconds now. So these are just some of my, hopefully people are listening to this podcast on the way to ATC and they're like, hey, I'm one of those guys who's playing 200 models and I'm not used to playing 200 models, and I hope you just download that app on your way and play with it and perfect it. Because that, just by itself, it's a game changer.
Yeah. And Kara Quinn just confirmed he said it was 99 cents when he bought it.
That's good.
Yes. And one of the suggestions you had when we were talking about this earlier was to turn off the motion, because this is a dice app. If you shake your smartphone, it'll actually roll all the dice. So it might behoove you, if you're rolling a lot of dice.
Yeah, there's actually an in-app setting. There's an in-app setting to disable it, so you don't have to go into your phone core. So it's pretty easy. So I strongly recommend minimizing all that crap, turning the sound off, keeping it as low system requirement as possible. What I do is I load the tray with 80 dice, which is the perfect number of cultist rapid fire shots, and then I slide dice into the not using cup if I only have like 20 guys rapid firing or whatever, right? So like the app works. I strongly recommend it. We almost already know there's going to be a scandal, right? There's going to be a fucking scandal at ATCs, right? Can't be avoided. But I really hope it's not a slow play scandal, and I hope it's not like every team has a slow play scandal.
Especially and Viking Teabagger confirmed that it's $1.37 Canadian.
Poor Canadians.
Yeah. So you're playing with the Assault Dice app the other day.
Damn, Letterkenny is my favorite shit, bro.
It is so tight.
I mean, because Crave TV owns them now, the network in Canada, and I was like, I want to watch the real syndicated broadcast, not the old YouTube videos. And I literally was on cravetv.com. I had my credit card out. I was like, I'm signing up for this. I'm just to watch Letterkenny. And then at the end of it, it's like, oh, you're in America. You can't sign up for this.
Yeah,
and I was like,
USA.
I will literally fucking give you $100 right fucking now.
But some of our Canadian friends up north let us know, or let me know, that apparently we're getting it on Hulu. We're getting Letterkenny.
We're getting Letterkenny on Hulu?
On Hulu.
Holy fuck.
Like this month.
Thank God.
I know, right?
Is the legitimate, I didn't even know what it was until that 4th of July, video I shared on Facebook.
Oh my God.
They're grilling out, remember?
Yeah, the steak one.
Yeah, it was like a sponsored ad that they did for a commercial for these people, and I was like, "This is the
bird of beef."
Yeah, I was like, "Who the fuck are these people?" And then I went into a substantially dark and deep Letterkenny hole.
Yeah, and then Mensener said, "Just got the app for 99 cents." So there you go. No excuses. If you have guys that do over 30 attacks or shots or whatever, just use it.
And at first it's a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. There's no drop down menus, there's no tabs or anything, so the app could be better. But if you just play with it and learn the mechanics of the app for a little while first, you need to, trust me, because if you haven't used it and you're just going to use it the day of the tournament and you've never used it before, you'll just put it back in your pocket. It'll be garbage, because there are some little nuances to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's totally worth it. And so that's definitely one of the big subjects is, ATC this weekend, lots of people have lots of models and lots of armies. It's kind of weird and uncharacteristic of the normal matchup style of the team tournament. Being that it's ITC, a lot of these model count armies look very denial in nature. And just outside looking in as an analyst, I don't necessarily think that's the best move. I think having 120 cultists is always strong, but it's not a denial format. ITC is not a denial format. And so you have to be able to kill every turn. You know what I mean? So it's not enough to say I'm going to hold and hold more every turn if your opponent is holding and killing every turn. Right? Because it's almost impossible not to lose a unit every turn if that's what they want to do, right? So I'm not sure how they're going to do. I wonder how they're going to stonewall certain matchups. Maybe somebody else, maybe they're all seeing things I'm not seeing. Maybe I'm not ready for because I'm not deep into the matchup meta. But just some of the things Juice brought up, he's not sure why this whole meta inside the meta happened. Maybe it's simply because in the ATC you'll have to have a different faction keyword, and it's just all that's left. So if you're going to make a Chaos Space Marine army, of course you're going to have 1 billion cultists. So who knows?
Yeah, and folks, Justin's saying in the chat, that some people won't let you use it in the game. And they'll argue about it. Well, what I would come back with, obviously come to a compromise. You know what I mean? It's not, but obviously the reason you're using it is they have a choice. First, it's an official GW product. You know what I mean? So it's like, Okay. But if they really don't want you to use it, you can say, okay, we can get a game in, or you can get 2 turns in. Your call. That's literally what it comes down to.
That's 100% the point. Yes. And like, that's why it's like, unfortunately, there are certain combos in 40K that are time intensive, right? Lots of models, lots of shots, all these things. You can't tell people what they can't fucking play though. You can't look at somebody with a lot of models and be like, well, that's on you for bringing a lot of models. So now you're telling me how to play this game that I fucking love and I invested time in? No, I've actually gone out of my way to make this not be a problem by downloading the official dice app that you never put out, so this wouldn't be a problem. So if you don't want me to use it, that's fine. Just don't cry to me when we only get 2 turns in and I win. And then don't call me a fucking slow player online when I literally presented to you the fucking solution at the top of this game. So that would be my direct argument with people, my direct discussion I'd have with them. Like
it literally makes for a better player experience for both players, which is the goal. I mean, you're talking about what do you call it earlier? Cooperative competition.
Correct.
Like you both have to agree to stuff, and you're both trying to get the best experience out of it. So,
yep. Yeah. No, that's where I'm at with it. So that's the big controversy.
And just keep in mind, if you're facing that fool had to paint 200 models.
Yeah. Like, so yeah, I mean fine, some people might be bringing gray shit, but like I don't go to places that don't have a painting requirement. Like that's not where I'm at in this hobby. I've been in this hobby since the late 90s, man. Like that ain't my life. So if I played, so last tournament I played at Haspil, we played at my locals, played against a great guy named Tyler. He had orcs. He's pretty top ranked ITC orc player. So anytime I play orcs, it's always going to be a struggle because we're going to have collectively like 280 to 300 models on the table, right? And so we use the dice app. We use a combination of actual dice and dice apps. When something was faster to grab 16 dice, like because I had them right here, or if I was like about 40 attacks, I have all my dice bricks with that 36 dice in them already loaded. So if it's like, oh, that's 40 shots, hold on, there it is. You know, like, yeah. But we're rolling each other's dice, everything, dice everywhere, dice app. We used every tool we had, and we got 6 fucking turns in.
Nice,
right?
And this is another, what you were just talking about. That's another speed up tactic. And now it's probably too late for the folks going to ATC right now. But like when I play, I count out my dice in groups of 10, and I have different colored dice. So like when I play my Grey Knights, I have gold, silver, and bronze dice counted out in groups of 10. So I don't need to count the dice. I just go, okay, this many shots, subtract this, roll. You know, and you might not want to use the dice app every single time because that takes away from the fun. You know, everybody likes throwing the dice, you know. But,
no, fact.
But not when you have, 80 cultists rapid firing.
Well, it's 120 cultists rapid firing.
Oh, yeah. So this is my argument. As soon as I tell the guy, if I'm playing like Alpha Legion or something, I was like, look, let me explain this to you. If I go first, 120 rapid fire, 1 squad of Slanesh that's going to shoot twice. Okay. So it's going to be over fucking goddamn 300 shots. So I will roll as fast as I fucking can, but bruh, I can make this happen in like about 90 seconds right now. So like, I'm not saying we have to use this for like this clutch 3 invulnerable saves, but Yeah, for volume of attacks, I think that's probably. Yep. I've played 2 orcs recently, and the other orc player, we didn't have the dice app. We only got 4 turns. But it was a bloodbath. There was only like 11 models left, collectively, both sides. So even if we went to turn 5, like we just tabled each other. It was crazy. So ATC is going to be amazing. Player time etiquette. That's a pretty cool subject, and I hope that no slow play controversy comes out from this weekend. But here's a big set of news that we were made aware of recently. ITC Frontline Gaming has announced that they are going to begin changing the ITC missions after Bay Area Open based on direct player input. Is that correct? From what I heard? Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. So it's kind of big news. Bay Area Open, obviously. And then, so I guess they're going to, Bay Area Open, is that after SoCal or before SoCal? Who knows? I have no idea. Because SoCal is in October. So Bay Area is in the summer. So I imagine Bay Area is happening right now.
Fuck, man, I don't know. I never go to Bay Area Open because it's all the way in the fucking Bay. Like, okay, it's too far. But I'm personally super excited to hear this news. Now, I'm a huge fan of the ITC mission structure. I think in the current iteration of the game and the current iteration of the mission structure, it is the most refined structure to play 8th edition 40K in right now. It has insanity, thousands of games being played every couple of months, tons of player feedback. It is, I mean, like, how else in the history of 40K have we ever had that kind of data, that raw data? So I think they're very refined and very balanced. But I think it's time to take a hard look at them, because even though I love them and I find them amazing, I love the meta inside the meta with the secondaries and defending yourself against the secondaries while going after the primaries, it does hurt you for wanting to play a certain way. And the example I use is like, the reason I stopped playing Magnus is because he was a liability. The reason I stopped playing Helldrakes is not because they weren't effective or I didn't love them, but they were a big game hunter liability. Magnus is a Kingslayer stacked on a headhunter liability. So I'd like to see double dipping and triple dipping addressed, because that fixes that, right? If you if like you can only get Kingslayer but you can stack the other ones, or big game, that fixes it. So I'd like to see,
basically you just pick one.
Yeah,
well, you can get Kingslayer for this, or Headhunter, but you can't get both.
Yeah, exactly. That I'd like to see that restriction. But also Reaper is what I've been talking about. Apparently, Signals from the Front Line, their podcast, I think they hinted at that Reaper would be seeing a change. And Reaper, if you guys don't know, ITC, Reaper is the one where you pick it, worth up to 4 points. You get 1 point per unit of models destroyed that started strength is over 10 models. You can get 2 points if it started over 20. So it's a great one. It's necessary. But here's what I don't like about it. It's not fair across the board. Imperial Guard is the greatest, most extreme example of this. If you wanted an Imperial Guard battalion to unlock a ghetto-ass OP CP farm, right? Literally for almost no points, your 3 obligatory 10-man squads for 15 more points all just have a mortar total, and they become 9-man squads now. So now you've like literally sheltered yourself against Reaper. So then you'd have to pick like Death by 1,000 Cuts, which is actually one of the harder, most unnecessary ones, which is kill 3 units in a battle round. And that's a sucker's play, because listen, you pick it, you kill these 3 units on turn 1, now there's no more soft targets left and you only get 1 fucking point. So like that one almost doesn't, that one needs a better version, and Reaper needs some working. I don't know how to fix Reaper, but I've been disgruntled about it for a while.
Yeah, and folks were talking about how this is just jumping back, that BAO is before SoCal. It's at the end of July.
End of July, that adds up. So that means SoCal would be playing the new missions. Ooh, damn, I need some playtesting. Of course, I'm going to have my new knights ready, my Renegade Knights. I'm thinking about it. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, because I know, and here's a great example, exactly what we're talking about, Mike. I got bit by the hobby bug hard, and I went down a path. I painted 3 Armigers and 2 Knight Titans.
That's awesome.
Like this quick, but Renegade Knights aren't that tight, right? Like there's a couple ways to play them pretty cool, and I like them, and I think I can build a competitive army built around them. But I'm hesitant to play them in the current iteration of ITC because of point stacking. I was like, I would love to play these Armigers and these Knight Titans, but then they do Titan Slayer and Big Game Hunter, and they're just fucking getting all the points in the world, and I fucking just lose even if I kill a lot of models. So that's what's holding me back. Now you're telling me that after Bay Area Open, perhaps they won't be garbage. Not that they are garbage now.
Yeah.
Heard that. Yeah, there's lots of suggestions in the chat for how to fix things. Like, yeah, make Reaper like Titan Slayer, but for infantry. That'd be kind of cool. Like for every 10 models you kill collectively across the game. Oh wow, that's a solid fix. Instead of a unit that was 10 or more models. See, Titan Slayer isn't like, it's every X wounds you do to the Titanic keyword, and it's cumulative. So if you kill 1 Knight Titan, you can get 3 Titan Slayer points, and then you just have to do 8 wounds in the second one, and you max it out. So yeah, If you did Reaper like that, to me, that's a pretty solid fix. And then if somebody killed one 40-man squad of cultists, they'd get their 4 points. I like that.
Yeah, it seems like that would work.
I feel like it would. I think it's fair. Because I think that, honestly, right now, so if you kill a unit of 20 or more models, you get 2 points instead of the 1. So you have to kill a 40-man unit of cultists, and you only get the fucking 2 points, even though you kill 40 models. So this instantly fixes that, I think. I'm with that. I'm behind it. And so that's big news, you know, ITC being the NFL, the prolific tournament structure in the world right now. But we do have one other cool 40K local discussion. But before we do that, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. Then we'll talk about 40K and then maybe some pop culture. Finally, the Long War swag is here. LongWarSwag.com, the official home of Long War merchandise. We've got a range of merchandise exclusive to the Long War brand, Next Level Painting, and Spikey Bits. Definitely log in today while supplies lasts.
Dear veterans, quickly, make your way to the longwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
ElrixHobbies.com is your exclusive portal to upgrading your hobby. When you sign up at thelongwar.net, you gain an instant promotional discount good for 10% off at Elrix Hobbies. ElrixHobbies.com. Veterans, I've got news for you. Get your best deals online at dicehead.com. Long War Vets, call or email for your best vet deals. That's dicehead.com. And we're back. All right, Haspil. This was brought up earlier in the webcast. Obviously, the webcast is where we farm all the Q&A. If you guys didn't know, we do the webcast as our pregame show every week before the podcast. And there's normally more of us, but it's just me and Haspil. So this was brought up. Casual, friendly, and league, all in the same sentence, and ITC. Is it possible, Haspil?
Yeah, I would say it is possible. What I would caution is if you're trying to just do it as a league and not get everybody ITC points, don't put it on the whole ITC, don't publicize it as an ITC event. Because if you do, you're going to get all the people that come down to farm ITC points from local cities all around you, and they're going to come and curb stomp your people. It will not be a casual event anymore. So if you're just going to use the ITC missions, I don't think there's a problem with using the ITC missions for a casual league at all. But I would just caution you not to publicize it as an ITC event.
Yeah, we've all seen horror stories of people coming down from, the town over, right? Mm-hmm. And bringing the beatdown list. And if you're just trying to get a fledgling community off the ground, honestly, casual and friendly is the way to get it off the ground. But then eventually they will transform into a bunch of dick stompers. That's the inevitable path of the spirit of competition, right? So in day one, you don't want it to happen because those people just go home. They just don't come back. So it's really important to do what Haspil said. You don't want it to be like this big ITC point grab, people coming over just getting their ITC points. You want to nurture it. And I think slow grow leagues are one of the best ways to nurture it.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are really, really good. And if you're not familiar with the concept of a slow grow league, it's essentially you start off with, say, like 500 points. And then the next time somebody buys, you'll say, hey, you can buy another 250 points or something, but you have to buy that squad new, assemble it, paint it, and then you can play it that next week. And so a lot of times these slow grow leagues are tied into like a hobby night where everybody who's in the league participates in the hobby night at the same time. And it works very well to grow a community really very quickly, actually, quicker than you might think. One of the other suggestions I would do to keep things casual is make sure that whoever loses the games that week gets something for it. It doesn't need to be a physical prize. It could just be that going into the next week's games, a suggestion would be, like, say, if you limit everybody in the league to using the same army list the entire league, you could say, hey, if you lost last week's game, you get to swap out one unit. Or if you lost last week's games, you get 3 free command points. Just something. Otherwise, what happens is the folks that lose, once you lose 2 or 3 if you lose 2 in a row, those guys aren't going to show up anymore. They're just going to be like, well, there's no point in me showing up.
And I'm not like this huge proponent of participation awards. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is tactics. People are jumping thousands of dollars into this and leaving 5 to 6 hours on the table on a league day. You know what I'm saying? When they stop being incentivized for how hard they're working on trying to like bring the heat, bring their hobby love, and try to get good at this game, they're going to just find an excuse not to come. I'm not saying they're like, fuck all this, like, I don't want to play 40K anymore. They're just like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go to movies instead.
Exactly.
So momentum is the most important aspect of this. You have to build momentum and maintain momentum, right? And they get that snowball effect. And then before you know it, your slow grow league guys, the league ends. Now they have these fresh 1,500 point armies, and now they want to play fucking tournaments with them. I want to show off how badass their fucking models are and how awesome they fucking got good at 40K. Like, that literally has happened at, like, with my boy, I see Enigma in the chat. Enigma made that happen at SoCal Games and Comics. That happened here. Jeremy made that happen here at Next Gen Games and Comics. I mean, that's literally a real model. I've seen it happen. That'd be my bit. I mean, it works. Do it. Yep. And I think the last thing we brought up on that was whoever's running the event, hopefully it's a store representative. We strongly encourage prize support matching. If it's 10 people show up, or if it's a tournament, or if it's a league or whatever, if it's $10 to show up and 10 people show up, it's $100. It should at least be $100 in store in prizes. But we recommend matching. We recommend you match whatever the pool is, because this needs to be viewed as a loss leader, not as a direct profit margin week after week. Because creating the community is how you're going to profit as a store, not the direct sales of that day. Because if you focus on that too hard, they just will get turned off by it.
Yeah. The big deal is to get people from stop playing in their basement and start playing at your store, because that's where you're going to make money on all the other stuff. Yes, on models, but also on paints, on snacks, on pop, bottled water.
Hopefully beer. If you can get a beer license, get it. I'll get twisted. Yeah. So that's basically a lot of the subjects that we covered from the webcast. If you don't have anything else, then I think we can bring on Kathleen Kennedy.
Well, before we do that, tomorrow, a game comes out called Warhammer 40,000 Gladius, Relics of War. It is by Slytherin, and they're the guys that did Sanctus Reach, which is a close, a turn-based strategy game. They also did Warhammer 40K Armageddon. And they are big into the whole turn-based strategy thing. Well, this one is slightly different, and I'm going to buy it, but I'm going to stay away from it for one very important reason. This is a 4X game that's like explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. And if you're not familiar with the 4X kind of thing, it's kind of like Master of Orion, Civilization, Galactic Civilizations, Stellaris. These are all 4X games. What they are notorious for are being time vampires. They are all fantastic. And so this is a civilization type game set in the Warhammer 40K universe. So there are 4 factions: Orcs, Space Marines, Necrons, and Imperial Guard. And it looks really good. I'm excited for it right now. I think you can pick it up on Steam for 10% off, and that'll probably go away tomorrow when the game officially drops. But I'm going to pick it up because I want them to do I want to do more games, but I have to finish the story I'm working on. So that's going to be my reward for finishing the story, is that I'll be able to play Warhammer 40K Gladius, because that's going to be, I have a feeling that's a power up, and 6 hours later you blinked and went, what happened?
Time vampire is the single best term I've ever heard you use on this show. I was like, God damn it, it is.
I love those games. I adore those games. And so I understand that games like that and XCOM are dangerous for me, especially if I have to get stuff done. So,
dude, any game that has like an instance of like 20, 30 minutes of battle time, you know what I mean? Like you prepare for an instance and then you do the instance. Like those are the worst time vampires. Cause like, I'll just do one more. Yeah. I'll just do one more. You know what I mean? And like,
and that's what, I mean, I haven't played Gladius, but people are saying it's a 4X game, and most 4X games have that just one more turn. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm trying to build this upgrade or this unit, and this unit is going to tip the scale of battle, and it's going to let me take the next city or whatever. And you're just like, just one more turn, just one more turn, just one more turn. And the next thing you know, it's August and you haven't changed out of your clothes.
It's a fact. This is real life.
It's real.
This is my life now.
So yeah, exactly. You're just like, well, okay. That's life now. So,
well, since you're back on the podcast, this is the first time you've been on the show since Aprilish.
Yeah.
We decided. Yeah. So let me ask you one simple question. What movie have you seen lately?
The last movie I saw was Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I keep wanting to call Ant-Man versus the Wasp, but that's not the name of it. And it has nothing to, that is not the plot. It's Ant-Man and the Wasp. But for whatever reason, it just rolls off as Ant-Man versus the Wasp.
So I haven't seen it. I didn't even know it was a thing. I mean, I did, obviously, but for the sake of this character I'm playing, the fuck is that?
That is the latest Marvel offering after Infinity War. And definitely stay for the first post-credit sequence. The second one doesn't matter as much, but the first post-credit sequence kept things real. And I won't go into further detail, but
I mean, you realize I'm just gonna YouTube it, right?
Yeah, you can YouTube
After you
it.
told me that.
Did you see Infinity War?
Oh yeah. No, wait, have I? No, I have not.
You haven't seen Infinity War?
No.
I don't think we can be friends.
I think we can.
Like for real? Have you seen Black Panther?
I painted 2 Night Titans and 3 hamburgers. What did you do?
I saw Black Panther and Infinity War.
I'm not my own time vampire, okay? That I have to worry about.
That's legit. But Infinity War is legit, probably one of the best nerd films I've ever seen. It has issues, but no. Okay, so there's something going on in the chat right now, and it's the reason we're talking about Kathleen Kennedy is because obviously the whole controversy with Star Wars has made a lot of YouTube channels a lot of clicks. So as a joke, we named the podcast an exclusive interview with Kathleen Kennedy.
And that's not even it was named something else first.
It was named something else first, but we changed it to that.
Interview with the creator of 40K, not clickbait.
Yeah.
Look, this is the Long War podcast. We're a mostly 40K podcast. We usually have Rob and Juice on the show, but this is on the eve of the ATCs, and we brought the legendary Mike Haspil, the author of Graveyard Shift, out of retirement. And he is known for his pop culture knowledge, and that's
what we're wrapping up with just now.
Yeah, we're just talking about a little Wasp. We can't even talk about Star Wars anymore at this point. Like, we have been there. It's a very passionate subject. A lot of tears.
Well, what's been said has been said. It's I think Disney has a massive problem on their hands because next year they got I guess episode 9 comes out next year. And just for full disclosure, I completely checked out of this entire trilogy when they named that J.J. Abrams was directing it because I knew it was going to be a shit show. So, because that guy, he doesn't deliver on storytelling. He's a really good director, solid at doing stuff, but he just can't tell stories right. He relies on mystery too much. And so they're counting on him to bring it home in episode 9, when this guy, he is notorious for screwing up third acts and endings. So best of luck to you if you're looking forward to episode 9. But I think next year is also Star Wars Celebrations. They're opening the theme parks on both coasts next year. And the problem that I think they have is I am a diehard, or was a diehard, Star Wars fan. And to the point that I have a full-size Han Solo and Carbonite in my basement.
It's literally right there. Oh, you and I have a picture in front of it for a battle report we did once. Like it's real, people. This is real life.
It's, I made my own Star Wars movie. I don't even know how many lightsabers I own. A ton of collectibles, all this stuff. And the weekend that Solo came out, I forgot that it was coming out that weekend. That's the kind of problem that Disney has, I think. And then when they turn around and insult me, then that doesn't make me want to support their product at all. And that's really all I'll say about Star Wars.
It reminds me of this one time I was driving back from the record store down in Colorado Springs. I lived in Colorado, and I just got the new Idea and Abilities album. He was an indie hip hop artist I loved, and he actually recently, I think he since then has passed away, sadly. But he was mad talented, and he was pretty crazy, the shit he would say. But like, I put the album in, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm listening to it. Like the first intro track, he's like, "Oh, you just bought this album? Like, thank you for the $20. You just wasted your fucking money." Like, he's like just talking shit to me.
Wow.
I literally took that fucking CD out, threw it out the window.
Yeah.
I was like, nope. Like, if I'm gonna waste my money, then it truly is a waste now. Like,
yeah, business rule number 1: don't anger your customers. Like, that doesn't seem like a good strategy. But and here's another one. It's probably controversial, but if your marketing strategy relies on virtue signaling, you're fucking up. That's just from me. I don't know anything. I don't run studios. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy is a damn legend. I mean, she brought us Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Jurassic Park. It's like, come on. This is Bush League shit you guys are doing. Like,
they call you on the phone tomorrow, Haspil, and they offer you the reins. Are you taking them?
For Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would deliver the fucking best Star Wars movie ever. It would be about Jar Jar Binks.
As the evil Sith overlord pulling the strings and
Jar Jar Binks, a Star Wars story. I'd bring Ahmad Best out of retirement. I'd just be like, "Yo, dog, you gotta resume Jar Jar."
God damn it!
I would pay good money to have a scene with Kylo Ren and Jar Jar Binks, like he's taking orders from Jar Jar. That would be the bomb. And then I would rightfully be, I wouldn't even be pilloried. I think Star Wars fans would just straight murder me. I think they would just be like, you know what? We're not even going to complain about your movie. We're just going to kill you.
The bearded beheader. You run Umbra though, LOL. That's a solid nerd reference.
That is, yeah. And there is going to be a new Umbra story coming out. That's actually what I'm working on right now. So that'll be fun.
Oh,
yeah. And
I
really, Doug,
I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I don't want you to feel like you have to keep talking about Star Wars if you don't want to.
No. I was just going to talk about Infinity War, because I'm like, you're talking about like 2 massive franchises with 2 dedicated fan bases. And they've chosen to tackle things in 2 completely different ways. One of whom is listening to the fans, and one of whom thinks they need to do their own thing. And if the fans don't like it, then the fans are wrong. And it's like, okay. And so Infinity War is, straight one of the best, I would say one of the best ensemble comic book movies ever made. I bow down to those writers because they gave everybody a moment, and they had I don't even know how many, 20 some odd Marvel characters and the culmination of a 10-year story arc, which isn't even over yet. You know, we got Avengers 4 coming out next year, all tied together. And, you know, it's pretty unbelievable. And was it a perfect film? No, it wasn't perfect, but it was damned enjoyable and it was a lot of fun. And if you don't like a part of it, they don't insult you, which is, you know, which is pretty huge. And then, and then with like Ant-Man and the Wasp, they delivered, you know, like if you've seen Ant-Man, you know that it was pretty much a family film. It was very family friendly. Ant-Man and the Wasp is almost more family friendly. I would almost describe it as almost a kid's movie. And then that first post-credit sequence, Marvel was just like, hey, remember this? Kept it real. I was like, what? Like you did that at the end of a family movie? Wow. Awesome.
Damn. Well, now you got me hyped. Now I gotta go see fucking Ant-Man and Wasp. Ant-Man versus Wasp.
Maybe that's the movie I secretly wanted to see. I don't know. Maybe that's why I keep calling it that. But yeah, it's like, go see Infinity War. If it's still, probably not still in theaters because I think the Blu-ray comes out.
I don't leave the fucking house, man. I don't go to the outside, bruh. It's like 114 degrees the other day.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
no. It was 107 here in Colorado the other day. And I was just like, I woke up and felt like I was teleported to Pueblo. I was just like, what's happening?
Yeah, y'all, I'm looking to rent a new place, and it's like half the places out here don't even have central AC, and I'm like, how is that a thing?
Wow.
But I'm like, wait, do you mean like in the 70s it just didn't get this hot? Uh-oh. Yeah. Is that political? Maybe. Is that political?
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Is it somehow 114 degrees not normal? All right, fuck it. We'll wrap it up. All right. This is the first time we've done this in many months. This is thelongwar.net. Thank you for listening. If you want more exclusive content and early access videos, check out thelongwar.net and also Long War Swag, not to be confused with thelongwar.net or longswag.com. These are two common misconceptions. Do not go to those websites. You will not be happy. Anyway, Haspil, take us out.
There comes a time, thief, when the jewels cease to sparkle, when the gold loses its luster, when the throne room becomes a prison, and all that is left is a father's love for his child.